The Hanukkah Guest. Written by Eric A. Kimmel and illustrated by Giora Carmi. Old Bear roused himself from his winter sleep. He yawned a gigantic yawn. Then he stretched himself all over. Finally, he poked his nose outside his den. A soft blanket of deep snow covered the ground. Spring was still many months away. Old Bear wrinkled his nose. What was that delicious smell? It smelled like something to eat, which reminded Old Bear that it had been months since he had eaten anything. Old Bear's empty stomach rumbled. He shook himself all over, then lumbered out of his den to follow the delicious smell. Bubba Braina put on a clean apron and set the table. She filled a bowl with nuts for the dreidel game. Kitzel the cat rubbed against her ankles as she bustled around the kitchen. One last chore, the candles for the menorah. Bubba Braina went to get them. Just then she heard a knock at the door. It wasn't exactly a knock, more like a soft thumping. My guests must be early, Bubba Braina said. She opened the door. The cat hissed and dived under the table. Why, Rabbi, how nice to see you, Bubba Braina exclaimed. Rumph, growled Old Bear. And happy Hanukkah to you too. Please, come in. Old Bear lumbered into the house. He shook the snow from his fur. I'll take your coat, Rabbi. My, how thick it is. It must be very cold outside. Bubba Braina tugged at Old Bear's fur. Grrr, Old Bear roared. Oh, you prefer to leave your coat on? Well, that's all right. It is a bit chilly in here. Come into the kitchen. I've set the table for a lovely Hanukkah evening. Old Bear followed Bubba Braina into the kitchen. The delicious smells made his nose twitch. Rumph. Thank you, Rabbi. How kind of you to say that. The latkes will taste even better than they smell. Old Bear followed his nose to the oven. Grrr! Rabbi, I'm surprised at you. You know we don't eat until we light the menorah. Grrr. That's all right, I know you were teasing. I'll light the candles. Will you say the blessings? Frumph. Bubba Braina struck a match and lit the shamas candle. Then she lit the one for the first night. Old Bear muttered and growled. Rumph. Grrr. Grrr. Who has kept us, preserved us, and sustained us to this time. Oh, Rabbi, you say the blessing so beautifully. Bubba Braina pulled out a chair. Old Bear sat down. Let's play dreidel. I have some nuts we can play with. Old Bear's nose twitched. He cracked a nut with his teeth. Rabbi, you won't have any nuts for the game if you eat them all. Vroom, growled Old Bear. Don't worry, I have more nuts if you need them. Bubba Braina gave the dreidel a spin. Old Bear sniffed at the little top as it whirled around. It stopped in the letter Nun. Nothing. We spin again. Bubba Braina spun the dreidel once more. This time it stopped in the letter Gimmel. I win! Bubba Braina swept the nuts into her apron. Roar! Old Bear roared. Don't be angry, Rabbi. It's only a game. Here. She tossed him a nut. Old Bear caught it in his paws, cracked it handily, then begged for more. No, Rabbi, no more nuts. It's time for dinner. Old Bear snuffled and grumbled. Bubba Braina opened the oven door and took out a platter piled high with steaming potato latkes. Old Bear's nose twitched as she set them on the table. Do you prefer your latkes with sour cream or jam? Old Bear growled. Jam, I thought so. Bubba Braina smeared 5 big latkes with jam and stacked them on Old Bear's plate. Old Bear snuffled with pleasure as he gobbled the latkes down. Bubba Braina laughed. You should use a fork. You have jam all over your beard. She wet a towel and wiped Old Bear's face. I must tell you, Rabbi, you eat just like a bear. I'm hungry as a bear, so I eat like one. I can see that, Bubba Braina chuckled. Old Bear ate and ate until all the latkes were gone. He licked jam and sour cream from his muzzle and his paws. Then Old Bear began to feel drowsy. He yawned. His great head flopped on Bubba Braina's lap. Rabbi, you're sleepy. Who wouldn't be after such a meal? All the latkes are gone. It's time to go home. But before you leave, I have a Hanukkah present for you. Baba Brina took out a red woolen scarf from the cupboard. She wrapped it around Old Bear's neck. This scarf will keep you warm on the coldest nights. I knitted it myself. Grrr. Old Bear licked Baba Brina's face. Baba Brina blushed. Oh, Rabbi, at my age? Old Bear shuffled out the door. It was time to return to his den. He felt very sleepy. Vroom. He growled as he ambled off into the night. He turned round one more time before disappearing into the forest. Vroom. Good night to you too, Rabbi. Happy Hanukkah! Baba Brina was washing the dishes when she heard another knock. I wonder who that is. Shalom, Baba Brina. Her friends and neighbors stood at the door wishing her a happy Hanukkah. Shalom, everybody, Baba Brina cried. How nice to see you. Please come in. I'm sorry I don't have any more latkes. The rabbi came by. He ate them all. Baba Brina, don't you recognize me? It was the rabbi. The rabbi couldn't have eaten the latkes, everyone said. He was in the synagogue with us the whole time. Baba Brina scratched her head in bewilderment. Something strange is happening here, Rabbi. I think there is an impostor going around. He looks like you. He talks like you. He even has your beard. Just then, Esther and David, Baba Brina's 2 grandchildren, cried, Come look! Everyone ran to the kitchen to see what was wrong. They found the floor covered with bear tracks. A bear? And I thought it was the rabbi. Baba Brina had to sit down. Soon she began to giggle. That was a very clever bear. Or a very foolish Baba Brina. Well, let the bear have a happy Hanukkah. I had a happy Hanukkah too, and so will you, my dear friends. David, go bring some potatoes up from the cellar. Esther, get my grater and bowl. Everybody has to help. You too, Rabbi, but I promise there will soon be latkes for everyone. Deep in the forest, Old Bear slumbered in his den. His stomach was full of potato latkes. The warm woolen scarf was wrapped snugly around his neck. Pleasant dreams, Old Bear, and happy Hanukkah.